I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another night of iRacing action here on the National Racing Network. Tonight, the stars and cars of the ESRA INDYCAR Series, they're visiting New Hampshire. We're up in New England, but tonight, the place looks a little funny. The New Hampshire Motor Speedway road course with the south end of the oval, turns 1 and 2. They're going to run exactly like you would typically see on the oval layout here. And then things get a little bit funky. A little bit of a dip to the left, a couple of 90-degree corners back to the right. You head to the mountain section, the roller coaster, whatever. The drivers have given it several different names. But the outer loop, I guess we could call it, of this course is, quite frankly, really, really interesting. The place is only 1.5 miles long as practice just wrapping up. Christopher Hill going to be your quick timer. 55 laps, averaging 48, maybe 49 seconds for a lap. This is going to go by potentially very, very quickly. My name is Chris Graham. It is a pleasure to have you hanging out with us here as we get ready for qualifications. Following along with James Watson, let's take a look here and also pick up Christopher Hill here on the right-hand side of your screen. Watson was pretty decent in practice. Christopher Hill was going to be your quick timer overall. Both of these drivers now on that kind of outer loop section. Turn 5 is the bowl that you see Chris Hill coming through there. Big banked corner, kind of spits you out at a weird angle. Tough to get the car squared up at any point. Then you loop your way back down onto the infield road course. Little bit of twisty bits, spits you back out onto the front straightaway. The lap here, like we said, is going to be very, very quick. Let's see. Don't have anybody yet who is about to set a lap. The first one who's going to come across the line looks like it will be Watson. Then we're going to have Ty Richter, Alec Coates, also Christopher Hill. Looks like they should be your top 4, at least your first 4 to get a lap in here in qualifying. Heading into tonight's race, we have a fantastic points battle. Joshua Tucker holding a 1-point lead over Drew White. Connor Baldwin, 13 points back, but Baldwin not on the entry list here for tonight's race. James Watson's going to be the first one to get a lap on the board, 50.010 seconds. Ty Richter, he comes up at a 49.694. New quick time. Christopher Hill, 48.917. 48.91 with a 7. Joshua Tucker with a good lap as well with a 49.129. Let's pick up Joshua Tucker here on the left-hand side of your screen. Christopher Hill off the final corner. He will cross the stripe, see what lap number 2 is going to look like, and it is faster, 48.495. That's a ripper of a lap there. Out of Christopher Hill, Joshua Tucker's going to come across the line, and he will go faster, but not fast enough. 48.797. We'll pick up Drew White as he's making his way around the racetrack. Oh, and Drew White in a little bit of trouble. Grab Luis Velasquez on the left-hand side of your screen as Drew White heads back to the pit area. So we'll take a look at Cullen Johnston on the right-hand side of the screen. See what Cullen's going to be able to do for his second lap. He was 12th quick at a 54.15. It improves by about 2 seconds to a 52.1, and it's not good enough to move him out of the 12th position. Luis Velasquez coming around to complete his lap. Still have not seen Joseph Morales, TJ McMurray, Jeff Destino, Christian Jasper, Matt Wagner, or Jason Hand on the racetrack yet, and only about 55 seconds left here. Velasquez down over the line, 50.019 was the first lap, 49 flat. Going to be good for third quick on the board for the 54 of Luis Velasquez. And that looks like it will be it for qualifications. 13 through 18 on the entry list tonight, not setting a time. In fact, not even appearing on the racetrack for qualifications. Tonight's race is going to be very, very interesting from a strategy perspective because a lot of the drivers were telling us that a full stint on the Reds is possible if you baby the tires, and you're still going to be down around 30% on the tires. So you're really going to have to baby this thing if you're going to try to make this a one-stop race. The alternate strategy is to make it a two-stopper. 2 shorter stints on the Reds, 1 longer stint on the black primary Firestone tires. I'll say interesting there as well because the time lost on pit road is about 30 seconds, and I don't know that there's enough time to make that up. We take a look at things from overhead here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Let's get you tonight's starting grid. Some big names going to be starting at the back of this one. They'll be led to the green by Christopher Hill with a lap time of 48.495 seconds. Joshua Tucker going to line up on the outside of row number 1. Luis Velasquez and James Watson on row number 2. Ty Richter, Vic Aldrich on row 3. Row number 4 is going to have Alan Coates and Drew White. Gary Corley, Alex Ball on row number 5. Row 6 will have Dylan Thomas and Cullen Johnston. Row number 7 going to have starting the cars that did not set a time in qualifications. Christian Jasper and Matt Wagner, followed by Joseph Morales and Jason Hand on row number 8. TJ McMurray, Jeff Destino. Going to round out tonight's 18-car field. Still waiting on Drew White, qualified 8th to get out on the grid, and Christian Jasper, just seeing Matt Wagner popping in there. 55 laps is definitely going to be a quick one. I don't think you would see a full course caution flag tonight. It does make for a pretty long lap around here, even only at 1.5 miles. Still a pretty sizable time window that you're talking about having under the caution flag. Christian Jasper gridded up and immediately disappeared. So he is heading back to the pit area. Field is making their way behind the iRacing safety car. It will be led by Christopher Hill and Joshua Tucker into row 1. Gotta say a huge thank you to everybody who's tuning in on YouTube and on Twitch tonight. Give us a shout in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. It is not the only race we're going to have here tonight. This one could be some chaos and insanity. The next one absolutely will be. The Indy Pro 2000 Championship. It's Oval Week. They will be taking on Phoenix Raceway. Yes, give me some PM18s on the oval. And it's Phoenix. The open dogleg is going to be in play. Yes, please, for every bit of that. Drivers definitely have some spots to get themselves in trouble here, especially coming out of the bowl. You really got to snap the car back around to the left pretty quickly. It's a real quick left-right combo, almost chicane-esque coming out of the bowl. That's real easy to get the car unsettled. Then as you turn back down the hill, really have to watch the momentum because you cannot shoot this corner wide. Tire barriers all along the inside of the racetrack are going to be there to swallow you up. The twisty bit's part of the Roval, very technical, not a bright place to pass. We'll see. Pace car is in, and as always, fans, the start of the ESRA INDYCAR Series is going to be all yours. Oh, we've got some contact back in the pack. One car sliding off to the outside. Gary Corley, Jason Hand, both going to be involved. Ty Richter also going to be there. Luis Velasquez having a little bit of an off-track excursion. He's going to fall a bunch of spots, as is Ty Richter. Picking up here with James Watson. He's already about 2 seconds back of the race leader. Move a little bit deeper in the pack here. Pick up Alec Coates, Vic Aldrich, Drew White. Oh, and we've got one car around. Right coming back onto the oval. That's going to be Alec Coates. We've got carnage all over the place already here at New Hampshire. Gary Corley has to get onto pit lane. Let's get you a look at some of the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replays. See what happened here early on in this one. The first incident involving Gary Corley. Oh, got it out onto the grass a little bit. Makes some contact, bangs up a wing. Not where you want to be for that one. Oh, man, another one up the hill here, too. Jason Hand having an issue. That's way up against the outside wall at turn number 1. Also had Ty Richter having an issue. Keep your eye on that kind of baby blue and pink car as they come up out of turn number 4. Oh, big time contact. A couple of cars going around. We've got a mess there. Then a little bit later on in the lap, Alec Coates having an issue. He was leading that second pack. Just a little bit of a twitch out onto the grass, and oh man, slides right in front of the field. Nowhere for anybody to go. So now let's reset the field a little bit here. Christopher Hill is your race leader, sitting on a 1.4 second gap to Joshua Tucker. Tucker running in the second position. Tucker just setting a new fastest lap for the race. A little bit of trouble for Drew White. He has an off-course excursion. That's going to cost him a couple of spots. Oh, man, more trouble out here on the racetrack, too. See what happened to Matt Wagner running through turns 1 and 2. Oh, tears the whole left front corner of the car off. A little bit hard on the brakes. Tough break there. Cullen Johnston, unfortunately, just going to be a bit of an innocent bystander here to this one. There's Wagner, and Johnston has to come almost to a complete stop to allow everybody past. We'll get back to the live look here. Pick up Christian Jasper. Jasper running that number 67, the familiar Mercedes F1 colors. On Jasper's car, he elected to start from pit lane. He did not want any part of the carnage getting to turn 3. Maybe a smart call. Jasper up 4 positions already. Trouble on the racetrack for Jason Hand. Came back out onto the racetrack and immediately had to take the tow back to pit lane. Five of 55 laps complete here at New Hampshire. Already stuff going on all over the place here. Pick up the race leader on the right-hand side of your screen, kind of give you a run through the field. Jasper able to clear Jeff Destino, and he's pretty rapidly closing in here on Luis Velasquez. Right-hand side of the screen, second place runner is Joshua Tucker, running about 1.3 seconds back. Good run for Tucker as he is hoping to expand on his points lead heading into tonight's race. James Watson running in the third position. He tells us every week that if he's able to qualify better, start up towards the front, maybe he'll have a shot at a win in one of these things. May not be able to do it on outright pace, but the strategy game could come into play here. We see Christian Jasper coming around Luis Velasquez. About 1.9 seconds for Jasper now to chase down Dylan Thomas. Running in the fourth position on the right-hand side is going to be Vic Aldrich. Vic currently sitting 13.8 seconds back of your race leader. No, Vic has some fans out there in the comments section. Let us know. Give us a shout. We'll get them up on the screen for you. Running in position number 5 is Alexander Ball. Good to see Alexander back into the series here. Not able to make every week's races, but good to see Ball back behind the wheel of one of these Indy cars in the ESRA INDYCAR Series. Running in the 6th position is going to be Drew White, already with one off-track excursion to his name here this evening. He's running about 1.2 seconds back of Alexander Ball. Total of about 21 and a half, a little more than 21 seconds back of your race leader in position number 6. 7th place going to belong to Dylan Thomas. Thomas up 4 from where the race started this evening. Trouble on the racetrack for Cullen Johnston. Let's take a look at the Hot Shoe Racewear Instant Replay, see what happened to Cullen here. Man, that turn 3 is so darn tricky. Overcooks the brakes just a little bit. Oh, in trouble for James Watson on the racetrack. James was running in the 3rd position. See what happened to Watson off of turn 2. Same kind of deal, just overcooks the entry to turn number 3. Able to turn back up the hill at turn 4. Christian Jasper catching up now on Dylan Thomas, but Luis Velasquez is going to be right there as well. Nice battle on the left-hand side of your screen for 7th, 8th, and 9th. We'll slide forward here and pick up your race leader. Nobody else really close to each other at this point. Jeff Destino having a pretty monster off-track here. Maybe we'll take a look at that one in just a moment. Jasper able to clear Dylan Thomas. Luis Velasquez going to follow him right on through. That is the battle for 7th, 8th, and 9th. Now working lap number 11 of 55. If somebody is going to try the kind of crazy alternate crew stop strategy, probably would think you're going to see them come in anywhere lap, gosh, I would say 12 or 13, all the way up to maybe lap 15 or so. A couple of blast-off stints on the red tires and then see what you can get. The top 4 all starting the race on the primary black sidewall Firestones. First driver who may be attempting the alternate strategy is Alexander Ball in the 5th position. Same goes for Drew White running in 6th. Also TJ McMurray and Jeff Castino on the Reds. Alec Coates has already been down pit lane after 1 lap. So he has used both compounds. The rule in the ESRA INDYCAR Series, you must use both tire compounds over the course of the race. Let's pop up here to your race leader, because right now, if Christopher Hill wanted to short stint the blacks, he would probably come in around lap 23 or so. Right now, the 30 seconds lost in the pits would put him back to about the 10th position. One of the advantages of being out front is you can kind of dictate the strategy game a little bit. Drew White getting passed by Christian Jasper. Jasper, the man on the move after starting on the pit lane. Not the points night that Drew White wanted to have. This is race number 3 of a 10-race stretch to open the season here for the ESRA INDYCAR Series. Take a look here, slide back a little bit, pick up TJ McMurray and Jeff Destino as these drivers running within about a half second of each other for the 11th and 12th positions. Next week, we're coming right back here to New Hampshire, taking on the oval layout. No North Road Course shenanigans or any of that kind of stuff. Then we head off to the Charlotte Motor Speedway on October 13th. You guys will get to have Gary Godso in the booth for you for that race. I will be down in Florida working on assignment. Follow that up with a trip to another doubleheader, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course on October 20th. October 27th, the IndyCar Oval at the world's greatest race course. Never in a million years would I miss that one. However, November 3rd, you're going to get Gary Godso back in the booth here. And this one, well, I'm not all that upset about. The Chicago Street Circuit coming up for round number 8, followed by Phoenix and Chicagoland. Before we get the first weekend off, that's going to be for the Thanksgiving holiday. Oh, big off track for TJ McMurray. That's going to allow Jeff Destino to slide through. McMurray able to get back onto the racetrack here, working lap number 55. Or excuse me, 16 of 55. Vic Aldridge going to have to contend with Alex Ball here in the not too distant future. Got the comment coming in from Surf Gonzo here just a minute or so ago. We'll get that one up on the screen for you. Vic getting a little bit of the cartoon anvil that Richard Fletcher has, well, quite frankly, made his own. in the Sim Racers Club broadcast we have on Wednesday nights. First of the cars on pit lane. Well, maybe not. Joseph Morales having a little bit of an off track, about 6 seconds worth. Going to bring him down pit lane. Slide back a little bit here. We'll pick up Dylan Thomas and Ty Richter battling for the 8th position. Thomas just up ahead in that baby blue entry. We'll call it like a royal blue. The baby blue machine is going to belong to Ty Richter, doing some absolutely incredible acrobatics in the pre-race. Oh, that's getting tight out of 4. Nice passing opportunity there for Ty Richter to come around Dylan Thomas. And here comes Luis Velasquez. Going to make this one a 3-car battle out of turn 5. Turn 8, that re-entry onto the, inside of the oval is so tricky. Car bottoms out in a really awkward way, gets very, very loose. Drew White having a bit of a bobble here. He's going to be way up against the outside safer barrier getting into turn 1. Let's Ty Richter through in a big time hurry. That battle's cooling down while the one between Dylan Thomas and Luis Velasquez starting to heat up. Take a look. Let's go on board here with Dylan Thomas. Gyro Cam really going to give you a good idea of just the kind of ups and downs that these drivers go through. But first, we got to swap back out here and get back up towards the front of the field because we may have a battle for position between Vic Aldrich and Alexander Ball. Aldrich having the slightest bit of a, we'll say a bobble. It wasn't even necessarily an off track, but absolutely no contest there. Ball able to clear Aldrich, put him back into the 4th position. Cullen Johnston trying to get out of the way, slides wide at turn number 3. That battle calms down pretty quickly. This one has not whatsoever. Oh, seeing Cullen, unfortunately, he got the car beached and had to take the tow back into the pit area. As Drew White and Luis Velasquez going to continue to battle this one for the 8th position. Oh man, again, just the tiniest bit of a bobble from Drew White. That's going to let Velasquez through. Already approaching the halfway point in this race. If you're on the black tires, I would imagine you're going to try to make that stint last as long as you possibly can. The only driver making up a ton of ground with an early stint on the reds is this guy, Alexander Ball. He is up 6 positions. Pick up our race leader here, Christopher Hill. assuming the 30 seconds lost on pit road, he would only fall back to the 7th position as we've got trouble on the racetrack for Alec Coates. Take a look and see what happened to Coates here. Oh, maybe a little opportune. There's some contact. Sliding off the road, Jeff Destino is the one who gets Puntarino'd off the racetrack. Please no Puntarino. Now coming around, Jeff Destino going to be Vic Aldrich and Christian Jasper. They'll be side by side. Let's take a look, do a lap on board here with Christian Jasper. That pole into turn 5, you really dive in, kind of shoots you up out of the corner. The quick snap left, right. Another quick right-hander before you're going to dive back down turn 7 to the left. Turn 8 gets you back onto the infield road course. Turns 9, 10, 11, all coming in quick succession before turn 12 to get you back out onto the front straight. In front of the big crowd here at New Hampshire. Fantastic drive for Christian Jasper, and he's doing it on the black tires, so not necessarily going to be a big stretch here to think that Jasper will be able to make this a little bit shorter of a run. The big question we're going to see is what can Alexander Ball do late in the run? Some of these drivers did not even get enough laps in practice to do a full stint on the red tires. Once we get out to lap number 28, that'll be the halfway point. Trouble on the racetrack for Luis Velasquez. Having a couple of very short off tracks. Let's take a look at him here on the Hot Shoe Racewear Instant Replay. So easy to overcook turn 10 and 11 like that. Slides out a little bit wide. Wasn't a huge mistake, able to gather it back up, but it did cost him the 8th position to Drew White. Jeff Destino on pit lane. He is on the first of the cars on the red tires. Follow along with Destino's pit stop. Colin Johnston, Jason Hand, Joseph Morales, Gary Corley, all on pit lane as well. Destino going to be down and away 22.5 seconds, the time of the stop there. So obviously some damage repairs going on for Jeff Destino. Luis Velasquez catching in on Drew White as we follow that battle, but let's pick up this one here. Alexander Ball is going to have to contend with Christian Jasper. Jasper able to come around Vic Aldrich, demoting him back to the 6th position. Getting very late in the run on those red tires as we are now at the halfway point. Dylan Thomas on pit lane. keep this battle up here on the left-hand side of the screen. Pick up your race leader, Christopher Hill. Could be a handful of laps before we see him on pit lane, but really the window's open as, oh man, Jasper and Ball almost making big-time contact. I know we said this during the Indy Pro 2000 broadcast a couple of seasons ago from this racetrack. This might be one of my favorite Roval layouts. Very technical. There are some places to pass, but it requires inch-perfect perfection to run this place really well. As we see Alexander Ball making his way down pit lane. First set of pit stops of the evening, and it will be Alexander Ball pitting out of position number 5. We'll follow Ball down into his pit box. Car up on the jacks, down off the jacks, and well, let's see. He's going to be away 9.4 seconds. Possibly some damage repair going on to that car. Also, Drew White, Ty Richter, Luis Velasquez on pit lane. Alexander Ball putting on the Firestone Blacks. He's going to be good to go to the end. Ty Richter, he has to go to the Firestone Reds as Drew White comes out just ahead on the racetrack. Luis Velasquez down and away, 8.9 seconds. Now we have some of the heavy hitters on pit lane. James Watson in the pit lane getting service on his machine, as is Christian Jasper and Vic Aldridge. Now your race leader, Christopher Hill, on pit lane. Cover the stop for your leader as we're down to 25 laps to go. Joshua Tucker on the pit lane as well. This one should be a no-brainer for Christopher Hill to hold on to the race lead, barring a penalty of some sort. Joshua Tucker going to get right back in behind. Oh, and trouble on the racetrack for Christian Jasper. Get you the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. Coming out of the pit lane on cold tires. Jasper tries to dive it in. Over Cook's turn 3. Oh, and he noses it into the barrier. He's going to have to come in and get the repair work done on that left front wing. Tough break for Christian Jasper. The lead is now down to 2.8 seconds. There you see your top 2 on the screen. Pick him up from overhead here on the drone. Wow, what acceleration for Christopher Hill onto the Roval. Got to open up an extra 0.3 of a second at the exit of corner number 8. Ty Richter not that far up the racetrack ahead of the race leader. That would leave only 5 cars on the lead lap. Oh, what a shot down into the bowl. Gap is opening up there. Slide back in the field a little bit. Pick up Alec Coates and Dylan Thomas. Coates opening up about a 9/10 of a second gap here over Thomas. Is Matt Wagner going to make his way down pit lane now? I would imagine he will probably go back out on the Firestone Blacks. He did a 27-lap stint on the Reds, but he has used both compounds. Oh, well, maybe not. Looks like Matt Wagner may be done for the night. Alec Coates just up ahead of Dylan Thomas. What a tough break for Christian Jasper. Had a fantastic run going. did make the quick pit stop. He's in and out of the pits. Well, not all that quick. 6.97 seconds the time of the stop. So let's run you back through the field here. Christopher Hill has been unchallenged, leading all 33 completed laps tonight after starting on the pole position. Joshua Tucker running in the second position. We'll sit with Chris Hill here for just a second as he makes the pass. Joshua Tucker started second, runs second, did gain a little bit of time during the exchange of pit stops, but the 5-lap average solidly in favor of Christopher Hill by almost 2/10. Good run tonight thus far for James Watson. He currently runs in the third position with 21 laps to go. Watson started fourth, got a nice jump on Luis Velasquez, able to grab the third position and has not relinquished it to this point in the night. Perhaps a little bit of going for best in class here for Mr. Watson. He'll be joining me in the booth for the Indy Pro 2000 officials at 10:15 in the East. And quite frankly, I think he's going to be in-car reporting here as well, as we head off to the land of the the Valley of the Sun. Land of the Rising Sun, Japan. The Valley of the Sun is Phoenix, Avondale, Arizona, to be specific. The Indy Pro 2000 Official Series Championship coming up here at 10:15. Coming around some lap traffic is Mr. Watson. Nobody close to him. He's 20.5 seconds back with Joshua Tucker. 20.3 seconds back. This man, Alexander Ball, who runs in the fourth position. Ball having a very good night, up 6 positions from where he qualified. Hard charger of the race, a couple other contenders, but they didn't take time, so wouldn't be eligible for the hard charger award. TJ McMurray, Jeff Nestino, both up 5 spots. Christian Jasper just coming around Dylan Thomas. That's going to be for the 10th position. Actually, Jasper right behind James Watson. I can't imagine Jasper would race Watson all that hard. He's not going to get back on the lead lap, that is for sure. These guys are still about a half a track behind. Trouble for Dylan Thomas on the racetrack. Multiple off tracks. Has to take the tow back into pit lane out of the 12th position. Watson deciding discretion, the better part of valor. Let Jasper go. Not a bad call there, James. We were looking at Alexander Ball and considering where the lap averages might be. James Watson, 5-lap average of a 50.991. Alexander Ball, a 51.194. Same 2/10 or so holding true over the 10 and 15 lap averages as well. So Watson able to maximize the red tires early on in the stint. The question is Alexander Ball going to make up a bunch of time very late in the stint? Just behind Ball to the tune of about 7/10 of a second or so. 8/10 is going to be Vic Aldrich. Vic currently running in the 5th position. That's going to make Surf Gonzo happy out there in comments land. Surf Gonzo earlier in the broadcast saying, I haven't seen a race on this configuration in years. Yeah, it's been a little bit. We had one for the Indy Pro 2000 Championship a couple of seasons ago, I guess it was. What a fantastic show that was. Trouble on the Speedway for TJ McMurray. Let's take a look and see what happened to Thaddeus off at turn number 2. Turn 3, bites again, slides it off the racetrack. Nice job keeping it out of the tire barrier. Christian Jasper just coming around Alec Coates, and it looks like he did that one on the oval. Pick up the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. Yeah, that's another one. Coates just saying, go ahead and have it, my friend. Coates with that right front wing damage. So Jasper now trying to close in on Drew White. He wants to get back up into the 8th position. After the incident, a top 5 might be a win for Christian Jasper tonight, although he almost got it off the racetrack. There at turn number 11. And this is the closest battle on the racetrack right now. Drew White ahead of Jasper, Alec Coates right behind. You can sort of see them in the shot. Now down to 5 cars remaining on the lead lap. Actually, let's take a look. 5-year race leader here. Already put 5th place Vic Aldrich a lap down. And the next car up ahead on the racetrack is going to be 4th place Alexander Ball. And there you see Ball just exiting turn 4. We could end up with only 3 cars left on the lead lap by the end of this thing. Trouble on the Speedway for Drew White. He was 2nd in points entering the night. Let's take a look and see what happened here. Christian Jasper coming around. Slides it a little wide. Oh, massive impact into that unprotected Armco barrier. James Watson able to sneak past. Drew White heads for pit lane. But unless he has the backup car still available, that could be the end of the night. Well, it looks like he did have the backup available because he is heading back on the racetrack after only 7.6 seconds. Pick up Vic Aldrich here as he's battling with Ty Richter. In fact, Richter just able to come around to pick up the 5th position. Look, show you that one on the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. Ooh, a little bit of a slide wide for Aldrich. That was all the invitation Ty Richter needed to slide through there. "12 laps to go for this man." Christopher Hill has been absolutely dominant here tonight. But don't look now. Joshua Tucker over the 5-lap average is about 2.5 tenths faster. The gap is now sitting at about 3.3 seconds. Kind of same other side of the coin, whatever you want to call it. Christopher Hill hasn't really had to push all that much yet here tonight. 11 laps to go in a race that's only taken 37 minutes, 37 seconds to this point on the clock. Seeing the wide lane, Christopher Hill running through 1 and 2. That's interesting because that's going to be the least tire degradation route around the racetrack. We could be seeing the gap shrinking because Joshua Tucker may be running a slightly different line. Trouble on the racetrack for Ty Richter. He's going to get off the race course and going to lose a spot to Vic Aldrich. Oh, just lost it off at turn number 4, able to get it back on the Speedway. But he lost 5th and 6th, going to put Vic Aldrich back inside the top 5. Perhaps time to cue the Jaws theme. Christopher Hill putting Alexander Ball a lap down. We have 3 cars left on the lead lap. That is insane. Alexander Ball is no slouch in these race cars. The gap now down to 2.3 seconds. With 10 laps to go, we are going to have a fight for the race lead. Going on board on the right-hand side of your screen here with Joshua Tucker. We're going to follow the race leader on the left-hand side. We'll be able to watch him close in real time if he's able to make up the gap. Now down inside of 2 seconds. You see it there over the big crest. Then the deep dive into turn 5. Spits you out on camber, on the banking still a little bit. Before the 2 snap right-handers. Back down to left, hooks you back onto the infield section of the road course, turn number 10. There's that was 10, 11, and then 12 coming up right here to get you back onto the front straightaway. 8 to go, the gap is 2.1 seconds. Lap traffic almost coming into play at the exit of turn number 2. Trouble for Joseph Morales and Alexander Ball. Let's go back to the full screen here, show you what happened to your 4th place runner. Turn 3, strikes again, slides it a little bit wide. Going to give up a little bit of space on the racetrack. We'll go back to the side-by-side look here. The gap's still sitting at about 2.3 seconds between Christopher Hill and Joshua Tucker. Tucker losing a little bit. Oh, but a bobble out of 3 for Hill. There you see him starting to fade off into the distance as we get down to 7 laps to go. Six to go with the line, the lead 2 3/4 seconds. You can see Tucker running that inside lane. He's pushing and pushing in a very big way to try to get up to the race lead. Joseph Morales having it off track. He heads down pit lane, comes back out onto the racetrack. He is now in the 14th position, now having another issue. Let's slide back a little bit here. Pick up Luis Velasquez and Ty Richter as we follow the battle for the race lead. Fight between Aldrich, Velasquez, and Richter. That's the battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Richter having a look inside of Velasquez through 1 and 2. Let's flip these around, get you the good battle up on the big screen. $5 to go for the race leader. Aldrich, Richter, Velasquez on the left-hand side of your screen, the battle for the 5th position. Battle for the lead now inside of 2 seconds. Oh, but maybe a little bit too much at turn 3 for Joshua Tucker. The gap immediately back up to 2.8 seconds. Oh man, Velasquez overshoots turn 3 just a hair. Almost. Oh, there is contact. Contact. Luis Velasquez gets off the racetrack. Ty Richter able to come past. Show you that one on the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. Coming out of turn number 4, a little bit of contact. Velasquez able to keep it off the rocks, but that'll be all she wrote for that battle. There's your race leader, Christopher Hill, sitting on a 2.5, 2.6 second gap as we are down to 3 laps to go. The gap between Vic Aldrich and Ty Richter now hovering right around 2 seconds, so we're going to stay right here at the front. Unless we see something crazy happen back in the pack, we'll cover the battle for the race lead. Team Watson Racing setups on the engine cover of car number 101 for race leader Christopher Hill. And it'll be 2 to go here at New Hampshire. 3 miles left for your race leader. Our buddy Bizzle checking in. Of course he would be. I don't know whether he's being facetious with this one or not, but Bizzle says, woohoo, oh, Roval racing. Bizzle is a fan of the Rovals, I think. You should join me in the booth here, Patrick. White flag is out, 1 lap to go for Christopher Hill. The gap sits at 2 seconds flat, babying those Firestone Reds. Joshua Tucker made it a valiant effort, but it may not be enough. The gap's down to 2 seconds as they exit turn 4. Nice and smooth through turn number 5. That's the fun part about watching Chris Hill drive these cars. Just so smooth, even in positions where cars maybe not all that great on tires, you're a little bit light on fuel. Doesn't matter, this guy's spot perfect almost every time. Off at turn number 12, twin checkers in the air, Christopher Hill gets the win at New Hampshire. Joshua Tucker going to come home second. James Watson still on the white flag lap, and he's just getting to turn 5. That is abject insanity, is what that is. Best in class race winner. If your name's not Hill or Tucker, Watson going to be able to ease his way home from here. Watson comes home third. Alexander Ball in the 4th position, finishing 1 lap down. But what a drive from this man. Precision Racing Instruction, Team Watson Racing setups on the side of that absolutely gorgeous number 101 of Christopher Hill. There you go, get the nice shot of Oh, look at we have a Bizzle sighting. Hold on, buddy. I gotta turn up your volume here. There's a Bizzle sighting in the booth. What's going on, bud?
Nothing much. I just tuned in. These cars look fantastic on this Roval.
They
one
really
of the best
do.
Rovals here in the country.
Yes, I absolutely love this Roval layout. Is the Team Watson Racing Armada forming up on the front stretch for the the podium picture, the top 5 picture, the whatever type of we'll say foul reference you want to make to it.
I would call it literally half the field.
Yeah, probably. Let's take a look at your race results as Christopher Hill burns them down on the front stretch. You're not seeing that. Christopher Hill winning by 2.2 seconds over Joshua Tucker. James Watson finishing 42 seconds behind in third, and the final car on the lead lap. Alexander Ball, Vic Aldrich complete your top 5. 6 through 10, Ty Richter, Christian Jasper, Alec Coach, Drew White, TJ McMurray. The remainder of the field: Dylan Thomas, Jeff Destino, Joseph Morales, Matt Wagner, Cullen Johnston, Gary Corley, Jason Hand, and Luis Velasquez. Looks like Velasquez may actually have a DQ. I'm not sure if that's a meatball, an unanswered penalty, whatever it is. But he was dropped all the way to the back of scoring out of 7th place. And there's your race winner, launching himself. Oh, that's beautiful. That's going to be the victory shot that goes up on social media.
And you're going to have to do a replay because you left the graphic up over it.
Oh, well, yeah, let's do another one here.
Oh, that's beautiful. Lost the nose cone and everything.
Oh, yeah. TJ McMurray saying he didn't change tire compounds. Ew. That's not a good way to have things end the night for you. Let's get ready for our Victory Lane interviews here. Well, let's first find everybody and get them ready to come up here to talk to us. Didn't have to go very far when it's a Team Watson Racing 1-2-3. Led to victory by Christopher Hill. Oh, man, you led 55 of 55 laps. Won by a couple of seconds. Something tells me it wasn't as easy as it looked.
Those things never are, you know. You always have your moments, heartbeat moments where you make a little mistake, and catch it can snowball for sure. But yeah, things for the most part went as planned there, and pretty happy to pull off the victory. It was also pretty cool to have a Watson 1-2-3 there for sure with the boss man in third there. So that's a good day for us. So that's super cool.
Yeah. Now, I don't know that we're going to have many of these Roval-type courses left. I don't know that you can call Indy a Roval. Chicago, obviously, is a street circuit. Maybe Lime Rock might be the closest thing to this one. Does this, having the kind of experience here, that give you any confidence trying to whip an IndyCar around Lime Rock later in the season?
You know, I feel pretty confident on the road courses. The ovals have not been my strength, and so I think we'll have a good showing for those. I sure hope at least. Definitely the result came today, which was nice. I've had a weird run of luck as of late, so it's really nice to have pulled off a victory for a change here, and yeah, it's definitely cool to have the team back in that too. You know, Josh was definitely helping me out throughout the practice coming up, and good support there and all of that. So it's yeah, it's nice to pull off a victory finally.
It has to kind of speak volumes as we head into next week, because we're coming right back here to New Hampshire. You've already run turns 1 and 2 55 times. Obviously, it's different than running the road course, but you got a good feeling after this one. Pretty big momentum boost as we head into next week.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to be missing that one. I have to go on the road for work, so hopefully that'll be a I mean, it's going to affect the points, unfortunately, but we'll come back and see if we can't make up for a bit on the next round after that, unfortunately. So I won't be able to go for the doubleheader on, which is a bummer. But
that's
yeah,
a tough break. I was
yeah.
looking forward to seeing you hauling ass around here next week. But before we let you go, bud, congratulations on the win, and get all those big sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Yeah, for sure. Big thanks, obviously, to Team Watson Racing. I got brought into the fold, so to speak, earlier this year, and it's just a great atmosphere. The guys are great to work with, and learn all kinds of stuff about the IndyCar running with them, and just having a good group of guys to work with. The setups they have available are top notch. Definitely not the average stuff out there. So big thanks to them. Big thanks, obviously, to Josh Tucker, because he's kind of my testing buddy. We kind of work both ways on. I help him out with when he needs a hand on the oval stuff. More actually, he's helping me with the ovals, and he helps me out when I need another set of eyes on the road courses, and we tend to work really well together. And so that's a big appreciation of all the help he's been giving me on that side of it. And of course, I do want to mention my company. I'm Precision Racing Instruction. I'm a full-time racing instructor by profession, and that's my company. So I don't just do things on the sim, mostly actually in the real world. But anybody who's looking for a tune-up, you can always reach out to us, either Instagram, Facebook, or if you are in a Discord I'm in, feel free to reach out that way too. And thanks for the broadcast, and looking forward to the next round. It should be fun.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you checking in here, and let's bring in our runner-up finisher here tonight, Mr. Joshua Tucker, because you just got a whole lot of kudos from our race winner here. This race was kind of, you and Christopher were fighting for overall win. Everybody else was best in class. Tell us what that chase was like over the last 10 or so laps where we really started to see that gap close in.
I'm still sweating from it, to be completely honest. It was brutal. I did everything in the car I could. I was switching brake bias, changing ARBs through a couple of corners, to where I knew I was getting a run on him, but at the end of the day, it just wasn't enough. And I knew I hit a huge gap to third and didn't want to crash the car. But he was just lightning quick all day. And I'm thanking him for the kudos. He's my driving instructor, so. I don't think the students passed the coach yet, but I'm getting there.
Maybe not yet, but you're damn close. And that really was kind of the interesting thing to watch, was that I wasn't sure if it was you kind of abusing the tires a little bit. You were running a significantly lower line through the 1 and 2 section, made up some gaps there. It's interesting to see how it's just those tiny little bits are the difference between where he was running and then where you were running on pace. Ultimately, over the last 15 laps of the race, you were about a 1/10.5 quicker.
Yeah, I think I did a little bit better of a job managing my tires. It looked like when we come out of the pits that he was pushing pretty hard those first 5 or 6 laps just to try to create a gap from me, and I just chose to slow down a bit and maintain my tires and save them there for at the end. But yeah, the different lines, it worked through the oval and you'll get time there, but you lose it coming through 3 and 4 complex and on the back stretch through the little kink area. Because the rear just likes to kick, and you saw me catch a couple of slides that were almost race ending. And I don't think he was nearly fighting that as much. And yeah, I definitely contribute that to the different line choices. But it was a heck of a battle. It's a fun race.
Fun race, and very, very good for you in the point standings as well. You're going to see those open up in a pretty wide way for you. So congratulations on the runner-up finish here tonight. And before we let you go, get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Yeah, I want to thank my buddy finished P1, Christopher Hill at PRI for the lessons, and Drew Hill and James Watson at TWR.
All right, bud. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you checking in with us here. And let's get our third place finisher in here tonight. We're not going to say third place. We are going to say class winner in the B class, whatever it was. James Watson, congratulations. A hard-earned third place finish tonight. Those guys ahead of you were just lightning quick. How do you manage that? Like, when you know you just might not have it on outright pace?
Just hope for them to get crashed somehow. Like, just focus on your own race and just, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and nothing you can really do.
Well, I will say, and I'm not knocking you on pace, by the way, because you were the only other car to finish on the lead lap tonight. That was an accomplishment in and of itself. It seems like this year there's something different. This season there's something different. Qualifying a little bit better, running higher in the point standings at this point in the season. You've got to be really confident in where things are heading with that Team Watson Racing setups entry.
Yeah, this has to be my best start to a season in my entirety in the league. You know, I've got no other choice but to if I'm gonna pull off the championship, I just gotta willpower it. You know, death by podium. Like I don't really have the pace to keep up with Chris, Josh, Wags, Connor. So I can't be over driving. Like, I think that's something that screwed me over in the past in this league is I was trying to race too hard, drive too hard, try to get more than what I really could get. You know, with the mindset of I have to maximize everything at every lap if I'm gonna have any sort of chance. And kind of similar to Will's mindset going into this season was, what's the point of doing that? It certainly hasn't worked. Like, I've come close, but like each season I could think of a couple specific races where I just pushed too hard trying to get spots and speed that wasn't there, and it ended up costing me big time. So it's going to be hard to go up against these guys and to actually win. So I just got to take what's there and hope for the best. You know, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, but overdriving it and driving like a nutcase isn't really going to help my... I have to rely on fate. I can't force the championship to happen. Just take what's there.
Absolutely. And quite frankly, you're the third place, the whole willpower death by podium strategy starting to pay off. Joseph Morales not having a real great night tonight, finishing in 14th. Connor Baldwin didn't start this week. Drew White finishing in the 10th position. May not be able to pass Drew, but pretty likely you're going to be able to get past Connor. Actually, you will be able to get past Connor. That has to be big for momentum. I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do the rest of the season, and looking forward to chatting you up here in the Indy Pro 2000 booth in a little bit. But before we get out of here, get all the sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
First and foremost, gotta thank everyone at Team Watson Racing Setups. Use code WATSPIN39 for 5% off at checkout. Gotta thank everyone at NRN, obviously, our biggest and most important partner. I gotta thank Mark Sports 906 and their awesome sim racing apparel, and ZAS Designs for putting together all my schemes.
All right, bud. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you checking in with us here, and a very short tenure in the booth with me tonight here, Patrick. But we saw a fun show here out of the ESRA IndyCars. I love the New Hampshire Speedway Roval.
This track is absolutely fantastic. It's fun to drive in anything. I'd imagine it's fairly difficult in an IndyCar. These things are so on edge. There's so much elevation change here. But from the last 3 laps of the race I saw, these drivers look like they're having a great old time out there.
Yes, getting the comment here from Christian Jasper. Yeah, could have had a better result, but still had good pace the whole time. Glad with a top 10. Jasper started on pit lane, worked his way up inside the top 5, overcooked turn 3, stuffed it in the tires, had to go in for a nose change, and still put it inside the top 10. Fantastic drive tonight from Christian Jasper. But with that, we got to get out of here. It is time for us to get ready for Oval week number 1 for the Indy Pro 2000 Championship. We're going to Phoenix. 5 wide through the dog leg. It's going to be abject insanity. Looking forward to it in a big way, but like I said, we're getting on out of here, getting ready for that show. Coming up next week, Sim Racers Club will be, I forget where. They were at Daytona this week. That race was a blast. Check out the replay on our YouTube and Twitch channels. And all of our replays are up there as well. Don't forget any of that. With that, I am getting the heck on out of here. Well, for Bizzle, who showed up late, and everybody else here at the National Racing Network who makes these broadcasts happen, my name's Chris Graham. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will talk to you in just a little bit. See you later, everybody.